Thermo Fisher Scientific has reached a settlement with the family of Henrietta Lacks, whose immortalized HeLa cells have played a crucial role in advancing medical science. Decades have passed since medical professionals at Johns Hopkins Hospital obtained Henrietta Lacks's cervical cells without her informed consent. Recently, an attorney representing her descendants confirmed that they have successfully reached a resolution with a biotechnology corporation they accused of profiting immensely from a discriminatory healthcare system amounting to billions of dollars. The black woman's tumor, before her passing due to cervical cancer, provided the initial sample of human tissue that exhibited the ability to perpetually proliferate and replicate in laboratory dishes. These cells, known as HeLa cells, have since played a pivotal role in advancing various fields of science and medicine. They have facilitated significant breakthroughs, such as the creation of the polio vaccine, the mapping of genetic information, and even the development of vaccines for COVID-19. Despite the immeasurable influence it had, the Lacks family has never received any form of compensation. In 1951, the cells of Lacks were collected, a time when it was permissible to do so without the patient's consent. However, attorneys representing her family contended that Thermo Fisher Scientific Inc., headquartered in Waltham, Massachusetts, continued to exploit the findings long after the origins of the HeLa cell line had become widely recognized. The family's legal action, initiated in 2021, asserted that the company had unfairly profited from Lacks cells. After a full day of private discussions held inside the federal courthouse in Baltimore, the settlement was reached. In attendance during the negotiations were several of Lacks' grandchildren, along with other members of the family. Late on Monday, attorney Ben Crump, who is acting as the legal representative for the family, made a public statement regarding the settlement. Crump stated that the specific details and conditions of the settlement will remain undisclosed. Thermo Fisher representatives and attorneys for the Lacks family released a joint statement expressing their satisfaction with the resolution of the matter. They opted not to provide any additional commentary on the agreement. After marrying and relocating with her husband to Turner Station, a historically black neighborhood near Baltimore, Lacks, a tobacco farmer of modest means hailing from Southern Virginia, found herself responsible for the upbringing of 5 children. During a routine biopsy, medical professionals stumbled upon a tumor located in Lacks' cervix and preserved a portion of her cancerous cells for future study. At the age of 31, Lacks passed away in the designated colored ward of Johns Hopkins Hospital. Her final resting place was an unmarked grave. Upon extraction from the body, the majority of cell samples would promptly perish. However, in a remarkable exception, her cells not only endured but flourished within laboratory environments. These cells acquired the distinction of being the inaugural human cell line to achieve immortality, as scientists were able to perpetually cultivate them, ensuring that studies could be replicated with identical cells by researchers across the globe. The extraordinary scientific process and its consequences on the Lacks family, who faced chronic illnesses and lacked health insurance, were meticulously chronicled in the widely acclaimed book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot, which was released in 2010. The narrative was later adapted into an HBO film, where Oprah Winfrey portrayed her daughter. It has been asserted by Johns Hopkins University that they have never engaged in the sale or profiting from the cell lines. However, numerous companies have obtained patents for various applications of these cell lines. The descendants of Lacks raised a complaint in which they contend that her treatment serves as a stark example of an enduring problem: racism within the medical establishment in the United States. According to the complaint, the case of Henrietta Lacks exemplifies the pervasive challenge faced by black individuals throughout history in terms of exploitation. Attorneys who champion the causes of civil rights, women's rights, and equitable health care have submitted a concise document in support of the Lacks family. They argue that this case is just one among numerous instances where medical professionals and scientists in the United States have taken advantage of minority patients. They also provide an additional illustration involving James Marion Sims, a renowned 19th century surgeon from Alabama who is widely regarded as the pioneer of modern gynecology. Sims conducted experimental surgeries on 12 enslaved women, intentionally withholding anesthesia under the belief that black individuals could withstand pain better than their white counterparts. The lawyers asserted that a significant portion of medical research conducted in early America was based on non-consensual experiments performed on individuals who were subject to systemic oppression. In an additional corroborating document, Daliso Alford, a law professor at Southern University, emphasized the disparity in social standing and economic security between the descendants of Lacks, which includes Ron Lacks, her grandson who authored a book in 2020, and the healthcare practitioners who are capitalizing on the utilization of her cells. During the year that Mr. Lacks took the initiative to independently publish a book to seek aid for his family, the CEO of Thermo Fisher was awarded a compensation package exceeding $26 million, according to the brief. Thermo Fisher contended for the dismissal of the case, asserting that it was filed beyond the expiration of the statute of limitations. However, the legal representatives of the Lacks family argued that this should not be applicable, as the company continues to derive ongoing benefits. After the release of Skloot's book, Johns Hopkins medicine officials took the time to thoroughly examine every interaction they had with Lacks and her family. In their statement, they recognized their ethical obligation and made it clear that they have never engaged in the sale or exploitation of the HeLa cell's discovery or distribution. Furthermore, they emphasized that they do not possess any ownership rights over the HeLa cell line. In 2013, an accord was reached between the National Institutes of Health and the family members of Henrietta Lacks. While her relatives did not receive monetary compensation, this agreement granted them a certain degree of authority over the utilization of the DNA code derived from the HeLa cells. Crump, a prominent lawyer specializing in civil rights, has gained significant recognition for his advocacy on behalf of individuals who have been subjected to police brutality and his relentless pursuit of racial equality, particularly following the tragic murder of George Floyd. On the occasion of what would have been Henrietta Lacks' 103rd birthday, the Lacks family joined Crump at Baltimore's waterfront to announce the settlement and honor the memory of Lacks. To commemorate the event, the group brought along balloons and a cake for a joyous celebration. According to Alfred Lacks Carter Jr., the grandson of Henrietta Lacks, Lawrence Lacks Sr., Henrietta's sole surviving child, has lived long enough to witness the restoration of justice. At the age of 86, Lawrence Lacks was a mere 16 years old when his mother passed away. It was an absolutely perfect day for her to finally receive the justice she deserved, and for her family to find solace, Carter expressed. The battle for this justice was arduous, spanning a staggering 70 years, but at long last, Henrietta Lacks is granted her rightful day. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.